Warfront is a tabletop fantasy battle game played with a deck of cards representing armies. Players command opposing forces, such as the Noble Zenith Guard or the Brutal Corrupted Legion, both of which included in the first box set. In the second box set, which is being released alongside Box 1 in the Kickstarter, features the Resolute Stone Shaper Dwarves versus the Subterranean Goblork Undercons. There are cards with different types of terrain, such as buildings and forest, to scatter across the battlefield. There is also powerful equipment that can be wielded by the faction leaders, giving them enhanced stats and abilities. Anatomy of a card. Each unit has both a stat card as well as a unit card that is deployed on the battlefield. Each unit can belong to one or more classifications, which is identified by keywords. This will identify the unit as infantry, cavalry, or vehicle, for example. This can impact how that unit behaves on the battlefield. A vehicle cannot pass through other friendly units. It may also interact with certain abilities. For example, an ability may allow more attacks against monsters and vehicles as opposed to infantry. The unit stats are used to identify the attributes of each unit as follows. Movement. How far a unit can move in inches. Shooting. The number of shots the unit can make in the shooting phase. Range. The distance the unit can shoot in inches. Attack. The number of attacks a unit can make in the combat phase. Defense. The defense or evasive capability of that unit. Glory abilities. Spend glory points to use these abilities to influence the game and swing the battle in your favor. More on these later. Unit card. A card with an orange arrow referred to as the center point. You measure from this point when determining distance for making all moves and shooting attacks. This will also come to play later when determining physical attacks. Getting started. You can decide to use any dimensions, but it's recommended you play within a 36 by 24 inch battlefield. With your opponent, place an agreed number of terrain cards, usually 4 to 6, on the battlefield. Then decide deployment edges for each army. Each unit has a point value. Players will determine an agreed upon point total to play, but not reveal their selections immediately. Each player takes turns placing unit cards face down along their respective battlefield edges. After all cards have been placed, reveal your armies. Now, roll to see who takes the first activation. At the start of each new round, players will roll off again to determine the next first player of that round. Each round of Warfront comprises of 4 phases. In each phase, each player alternates activating their individual units. These phases are Activation Phase, the Consolidation Phase, the Combat Phase, and then one more Consolidation Phase. Activation Phase. During this phase, each player alternates activating units one at a time. Moving and shooting are done in this phase. Units move up to their movement value in inches in any direction. Measure from the center of the card. Units can pass through friendly units, but not end their move on top of them. Moving into contact when an enemy initiates combat. Resolved later in the combat phase. Engaged units cannot shoot. When selecting a unit to shoot with, you must target a visible enemy within range and roll dice equal to your unit's shooting value. If any of the dice roll a 4 or higher, that is a hit. Then, the targeted unit may roll defensive saves for each hit. If any of these dice roll equal to or below the defense value of the defending unit, the hit is negated. Any unsaved hits cause damage. Units with a shooting value of 0 cannot shoot. The battlefield will be scattered with different types of terrain. All terrain grants various levels of cover from shooting, while some also have special rules. If line of sight to any part of the targeted unit from the center of the shooting unit is obscured by a terrain card, this unit may have cover. A targeted unit behind cover may reduce the number of shooting dice rolled against it based on the terrain type and visibility. Combat Phase. Engaged units must attack and defend. Players alternate selecting which combat to resolve first, starting with the player who activated first. Depending on the card edge that the unit is engaged by will impact its ability to attack and defend, so be careful because positioning is key. All units roll attacks and defenses if able. Hits are successful on a 4+ and will damage units that fail the defense rolls. resolving damage. Failures to defend against damage for shooting and attacks result in damage to that unit. Track the status of units with the status cards. Units have 3 wounds before they are broken and removed in the consolidation phase. Consolidation phase. After both the activation and combat phases, remove any broken units from the battlefield. Broken units are still active during the activation and combat phase and can perform actions before being removed. One of the most exciting elements of Warfront are glory abilities. Generated by achieving natural rolls of 6 during attacking, shooting, and defending rolls, players start the game with 3 glory points and can earn more throughout the game. Standard glory abilities cost 2 glory points, increasing by 1 each time it's used. Multiple abilities can be used during a turn, but not repeated on or by the same unit until the following turn. Some units, such as your leaders, have specific abilities of their own, such as Vortrax, who can at any point recover a point of damage, bringing him back from the brink of death. Declaring a glory ability causes a pause in play, in which players pass initiative back and forth using glory abilities, similar to how card abilities go onto the stack in Magic the Gathering. Winning the game. There are 3 ways to play Warfront. Clash, the main way to play, a head-on conflict. Select units up to an agreed point total, normally 60, and battle it out. The winner is the player with the most points across active units after 5 turns. Area control. After placing the terrain cards during setup, place the 3 objective cards along the center of the battlefield. At the start of each turn, any unit that is within 1 inch of an objective card scores 1 point. At the end of 5 turns, whichever player has the most points is declared the winner. Objectives are not battlefield features, so units can end their movements overlapping an objective. Survival. 1 player attempts to survive until the end of the game. The survival player selects units with half the agreed point totals and wins the game if they have 1 or more units active at the end of 5 turns. Whether you're a lifelong tabletop wargamer or someone looking to get into the gaming community, Warfront has universal appeal for players of all experiences. Stay tuned for more exciting updates.